Namaste coders, this is Vikesh. So welcome to our channel Async Coding. So this is your go-to spot for learning technologies related to development, testing and modern technologies, JDK. So JDK is nothing but Java Development Kit. When we talk about kit, Java Kit, there are two main components to that. One is JVM, another one is JRE. So what is JVM? What is JRE? Let's get into that. So first thing is JVM. So JVM is nothing but Java Virtual Machine and JRE is nothing but Java Runtime Environment. Java Virtual Machine helps us to execute the bytecode. So what is bytecode, from where it comes, and how we feed it to the JVM? So let's study about that. So in computer, when we write the code, it is in the form of source code. I mean, that is in basic English. So computer does not understand that language. So in order to make the computer understand this language, we have to convert this to bytecode. But who is converting this to bytecode? In between here, we get a component compiler. So compiler comes in between this particular thing. So what compiler does? It converts source code to bytecode. So this bytecode then fed into the JVM. That is nothing but Java virtual machine. So once we feed our code that is in the form of bytecode into the Java virtual machine, it over there again some processes happens like load, then execute the code, and again verify the code. These three steps are necessary in order to go through all the, I mean, in order to pass from JVM to machine code. So the journey from source code to machine code, it has to go through JVM. So let's understand what is load and verify and execute, how it works in JVM. So in general, this is main functionality of the JVM. This has to happen, then only we can then only we can get the desired output from the code that we have written. So in load, so first function is the code comes from our machine that we have written in our IDE or our command prompt. So this goes to JVM. At first, what it does is loads. So we get the code from compiler, then it loads to JVM, then it checks here. Okay. So next step, that flows to the stage of verification. So here everything is does. It checks, do we have an exception here? Is there any error? If there is any error, then what happens? Then it will throw an exception or error into the screen. That means the code is not going to run. It will stop there. Okay. So that is what verify step is does. So basically the code runs, it checks for errors, it checks for exceptions. If any exceptions or if any error, then code doesn't run, it stops here. Okay, so then what happens? So it is loaded, the code is verified, then last step is executing the code. Executing is nothing but our code is going to run and give the desired output. So here let us see what happens. So execute gives us result. This is the final step. Let us understand the relationship between JDK, JVM, and JRE through an example. So let us take pizza store as example. So it is an easy way to understand. So we have a pizza store. So this pizza store is like JDK, nothing but Java Development Kit. So it has two main components as we already discussed. So one is JVM, another one is JRE. So what is JRE here and what is JVM here? So JRE here is kitchen. Kitchen, why? Because it gives us a platform to prepare the pizza. So kitchen is JRE here. I mean Java Runtime Environment. It gives the platform to run the code, and here in the pizza example, it gives the platform to bake the pizza. Okay, so we have another component that is in the pizza kitchen. We have another component that is oven. So here, what we can compare oven to Java virtual machine. So what oven does? Oven does is bake the pizza. So what JVM does? JVM does execute the bytecode. Correct. So Now we can go through all this once again. So I'll show you. So our code starts from JVM. JVM is nothing but our oven here. So it is the platform where our code executes. So to execute this code, what gives the platform? It JRE gives the platform. Correct. JRE here in the pizza example, JRE is kitchen. So JRE kitchen gives the platform to bake the pizza in the oven. So where JRE and JVM is sitting, these two are sitting inside JDK. So these two are in JDK. So without JDK, there is no JRE or JVM. So this will understand when we run the code. Before when we install the JDK to our system, so we'll get to know about these things. These JDK, JRE, and JVM, how it runs and how it does and how it is useful.